Alright, we need to talk about Spider-Verse. What's poppin' YouTube? So yesterday I just watched Across the Spider-Verse and it was amazing! I had no worries that this movie wasn't going to be good. Cause come on, it's Spider-Verse. The first one was fantastic and easily one of the best animated movies, and arguably the best Spider-Man movie there is. Even so, my small peanut brain had no clue what was going to be in store for me. There are a few movies or franchises that get me as hyped as Spider-Verse did, and for the whole runtime I was glued. Okay, let's dial it back though. Let's talk about the animation first. I am not kidding when I say this is the most beautiful Western animated piece I've ever seen. Every frame of this movie can be a unique art piece in and of itself. I mean seriously, when this comes out on digital, just pause it at any random moment and that could be hung in a museum. From the upside down city shot where Gwen and Miles are chatting it up, when Gwen argued with her father and the surrounding area turned into this drippy, painting-like background depicting her emotions at the time. That is pure art. Even the vulture in the beginning being this more Renaissance type of style. That's awesome. This film has tons of creative styles for each of the universes that each Spider-Person belongs to. The best part is that they keep their respective style no matter where they go. Like Spider-Punk? How did they even do that? Lego Spider-Man? That's just awesome. They all feel so unique, and I'm barely covering the surface of what Spider-Man could be. Seriously, there's so much to look at here. This movie's just gorgeous. They took the fundamental principles and style of the first and improved upon it in every single aspect. Oh, a little side note, this might be a dicey opinion, but the way Toby and Andrew's cameos were handled in this movie felt a lot more natural than their inclusion in No Way Home. No Way Home was more like they came up with the idea of including past Spider-Man first and wrote the story after, whereas it's the opposite for Across the Spider-Verse. Don't get me wrong, I love seeing them in No Way Home, but the inclusion here feels so much more cohesive. Now, diving more into the story, we get a lot more of Gwen, which I really liked. We get to see her lose her Peter and her rocky relationship with her dad, the chief of police, because of her identity as Spider-Woman. Seeing how detrimental of a reaction her dad gave when he found out she was the one behind the mask was so saddening to see. Her character became a lot more interesting, and I really loved her role in this movie. The conflict between Miles and her trying to make things work, but Gwen pushing him away ultimately is really sad, but feels so raw at the same time. The writers really outdid themselves with this one and made every character feel a lot more rounded. Miles himself growing up a lot more too. He has better control of his powers, but also even when nobody agrees in Miles' viewpoint and saving everyone he can, he still actively does the things his way. His relationship between his parents is expanded upon, and I really liked it. A lot more smaller scenes where Miles has to grasp the fact on how much he misses out because of being Spider-Man. He wants to tell his parents so badly, but worries what might happen after he does that. Being Spider-Man is a selfless job, and he has to deal with that. You really feel the weight on him. Peter B. Parker doesn't show a whole lot in this movie, which does kinda suck, but to be fair, he did get his time to shine in the previous movie. And we do get to see him and see some of his bonding moments with him and Miles, as he tells Miles that he was the reason he went through with having a kid, so that he could see his kid turn out like him. It's a pretty heartwarming moment. Also, seeing Peter finally have a kid and a family is just so rewarding to see. You don't typically see things work out as good as that for Spider-Man, so it's a nice change of pace. This movie has two central antagonists. Miguel O'Hara was pretty cool, and I liked his stone cold attitude to what it means to be Spider-Man. And the whole canon event thing was a really cool touch, and I can't wait to see where it goes. But goddamn was the Spot a shocker. I didn't think he would become as big of a threat as he ended up being. He progressed in his capability and legit became a terrifying, genuinely scary villain, both in design and personality. His whole going from a joke to a genuine threat reminds me a bit of how Titan was in Megamind, with him starting out as no one special into becoming a full-blown monster. Talking about the music for a second, it was pretty awesome. Each track fitting the scene perfectly and built suspense and mood for what was happening. You know, my only real gripe with this movie is just the fact that this is only part 1, and that the finale is going to take a bit to be released. There's so much on the line that I know I can confidently say that Beyond the Spider-Verse is going to be nothing short of spectacular. You really just don't want this movie to end because it's a whole experience. The twist at the end where Miles wasn't in his correct universe due to the spider that bit him not originating from his world was super neat too. And the stakes are really present. There's so much in this movie that I was a bit worried that it might be paced weird, but no, it wasn't at all. Those hours flew by watching this movie. and all the comedy landed. The action was so fluid and innovative, and the emotional scenes really hit home and felt so genuine. I might be speaking too early on this, but I think I know who's gonna win Best Animated Feature here. In fact, it's animated movies like these that make me wish that more awards could be given to an animated masterpiece like this. Now, currently I'm not sure if it's better than the first, only because this story is only half complete, whereas the original Spider-Verse felt like it could have held its own without the need of a sequel. But I know the third act to this universe is going to be amazing. I'm sure Disney right now is shaking in their baby seal leather boots, because recently, animation has been on a roll. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish dominated, the Super Mario Bros. Movie crushed it at the box office, and now Across the Spider-Verse telling a masterclass of a story. And Mutant Mayhem is coming soon too, which looks amazing. Elementals isn't looking so hot. I feel no one has even said a peep about that movie, and I'll be honest too, I have zero motivation to even watch that. What I find crazy though is that the same studio that made Hotel Transylvania is making these Spider-Verse movies. Makes you think, doesn't it? All in all though, I give Across the Spider-Verse a 9.8 out of 10. It is a perfect sequel to an amazing movie. It hit every beat and overall looks amazing, and has great characters with so much charm and lovability. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go watch that again. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe and check out some of my other content, and I'll catch you all later.